Good day, everyone. My name is Calista Mahan. I'm over the course for the iCCaRE project. I'm excited that you're able to join us today. We're going to go ahead and get started. Today we have Vinessa Gordon, who's from our evaluation team. She's going to discuss quarterly reports and best ways to go about completing them. And we also have Dr. Catherine Oladoyinbo, who's a part of our research, education, and training core. And she's going to discuss our new global certificate program. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We have a pretty jam-packed presentation today. So I want to go ahead and get started with Vinessa Gordon. We're so happy to have her today.
Thank you so much, Calissa. I'm so happy to be here. Hello, everyone logging in. If you could just drop in the chat saying hello, where you're logging in from. Would really love to greet everyone from in the chat. So I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, thank you. And share my slides. Today I will be talking about our DoD reporting for the iCCaRE Phase 2. We are doing quarterly reports, which means every 3 months we will send in a report to DoD. And for Phase 1, this is a little bit different from Phase 1, where we were doing semi-annual and an annual report. So let's get started. As Calissa said, my name is Vinessa Gordon. Our agenda, I'll go over the timeline for when the reports are due and when they need to be sent in, formatting, just overall formatting, things you should keep in mind. The rest of the agenda goes over the different sections that are within the report and what information is necessary to put in there. So first beginning with the timeline. So the timelines are due to the consortium, the reports are due to the consortium manager by the 9th of the reporting month. And before we move on, can anyone drop in the chat when is our next reporting month, or when is our next reporting month? Does anyone know from our audience? So our next report, I don't see it in the chat, but our next reporting month is April. And the report is due to DoD at the end of April, but it's due to our consortium manager by the 9th of April. And it's the reporting period that it covers is January to March. Thank you, Dr. DeCampus. That is the reporting period that it will cover. So once you submit it to the consortium manager, it is then reviewed by the MPIs and our external advisory board. You will then get feedback sent to you to finalize your report. All core leaders and project leaders need to send back their finalized reports to the consortium manager. And this is so that your report can be compiled and we can create a overall consortium report. Next, the project leads will then submit their reports to DoD. Cores do not submit reports to DoD, and we hope with this timeline to get all of our reports in on time and at least 1 week before the deadline. And so after all of these steps are followed, we have success. We have successfully submitted to DoD. So key things to note about the formatting: we are using Times New Roman's font in point 11. All margins should be at 0.5. There's a specific way that you need to save the report, and is with your award number followed by the report type, whether it is a quarterly report, a semi-annual report, or an annual report. That will need to be in there, and then the month and year. So I have a little example. Say our award number was ABC 123456. The reporting type is our quarterly technical report, and the month and year is January 2025. This is what the front cover of the report looks like. This box up here, you will need to put your award number, log number, project title, and the PI on the project. And this information can be pulled directly, with the exception of your reporting date and your reporting period. That is different at each reporting period. But this information up here can be pulled from your notice of award. So all that information will be there. Typically, you'll see text, instruction text that is there from DoD. I've highlighted it blue. All of this text needs to be deleted before it is sent in for submission. And on here, and these texts also provide some guidance on what information is needed for those sections. So the first section in our report is the accomplishments, and the numbering we'll use 1.1, where you'll put major specific aims. And this is where you're putting the 4-year period, the statement of work. And so if you see here, for this period, you'll put the timeline here. So this would have been September to December, because that was the last quarterly period, and the percentage of what was accomplished. And so, and then the next section is the major activities and accomplishments. So everything that you said that you are 50% or 75% accomplished in the first section, where you're putting your statement of work, you will need to detail and outline what those were. You can also add pictures to show if there was an event that occurred as part of your intervention or your project to put there. The next section we label as 1.1b, and you will put the specific your project name here. So if you are FP1 or FP2, so you'll put specific FP1 objectives, and you'll detail your specific accomplishment on those objectives. Then other significant or key outcomes you'll outline here under this section. And then 1.2 is additional space to put your accomplishments. 1.3 has to do with your regulatory and protocol activities. So you'll put, there's sections there for you to put your protocol number that you've gotten from DoD. Your institution-specific protocol information also goes there. If your project does require, all our projects require IRB, please do not leave this section blank. Very important. Next, for the next reporting period 1.4, you'll put everything for that period that your statement of work says and how you'll accomplish them. Also, what is important is to keep in mind to put our benchmarks for success. So all the projects and cores have benchmarks on these specific items and have proposed numbers. So if it's 5 presentations for year 1, you will put the progress for that quarter in this section. So whatever was proposed will go in this column, and then the progress that has been made in this section. And our next section is outputs or products. So the reason why I have outputs or products here is because on some reports it says products, and some reports it says outputs, but it's all the same thing. You will put number of your URM faculty. These presentations include abstract presentation at conferences, presentations that are done at other events, publications that have been peer reviewed, website if you've developed a website, or if you have a survey link that can go there, number of grant submissions, and in a specific format where you'll put the title of your grant, the funding institution, and the PI name, and then the grants that have been awarded. You'll also put as outputs awards that you have received, and last but not least, your trainees. If there's anything else you have as a product or an output that does not fall within one of the 8 categories, you can do a 2.9 that says other. Oh, I forgot to mention, so one way we've worked to organize and streamline and kind of make all the reports uniformed is by having these headings. And so you'll see throughout this presentation that this section is outputs. So you'll create this heading within your report and then put all your outputs under. We do have a template that we will share to everyone. The the core leads and the MPIs with specific instructions, and one that has been formatted. The next section is participants and other collaborating organizations. And this is where you'll put everyone that has been working on your project. There's a great example here. If you have a core member or a project member, you'll put their name here. Their most senior role goes here for project role, their ORCID ID, and the nearest person months worked and their contributions to the project. If the information is unchanged from the previous submission, you can put no change in that section under their name. The next sections in the reports are the changes for 4. So there are 2 questions that asks here. So changes, so what are actual problems or delays and actions to resolve them? Or 4.2, anticipated problems or issues. If you don't have any problems or delays or anticipated problems or delays, you can put nothing to report. 5 is the special reporting requirements. So for 5, it's typically the quad charts. However, the quad chart, if you need to complete a quad chart, it will be stated in your notice of award if you should complete a quad chart. The last section we have is the appendix materials. So key things about the appendix materials, you can put any surveys you've developed, any flyers or operation manuals that have been developed for the project or the core will go in the appendix. So key things is to create like a table of contents for the appendix materials so that the reviewer knows what to expect. Then create transition pages. So this will go before the appendix item, and it will have the appendix label. I'd like to do 5 spaces down, bold and centered, so it is clearly visible with all the information. And then you'll put the appendix items behind that. Are there any questions? I know I went through that a little quickly, but if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. I'd also like, in the spirit of evaluation, for you to complete the survey on the presentation, and you can also add any additional questions that you may have there.
Great job, Vinessa. I do have one question. If you could go into a little bit more detail of your role with evaluation. So what are some other things that are reports that you're completing throughout the iCCaRE process?
Oh, thank you for that question, Calissa. So one thing I am doing is process evaluation of our statement of work. This ensures that, and I'll go back to our benchmarks for success, that this ensures that we are meeting the benchmarks in a timely manner. So for example, if we're coming to the end of year 1, and if by year 1 we said we would have 5 publications and we only had 2, part of my role is to alert the PIs and the admin core of the upcoming deadline to meet these benchmarks. I'm also involved in the evaluation core, where we're looking to evaluate the consortium as a whole. So those are some other activities I'm involved in.
Awesome. And I know you've been working on some publications also. What do those entail?
So thank you, Calissa. So we are working on our first iCCaRE consortium publication. We are at the tail end of getting it submitted. I'm just waiting on a few more details from our MPIs. And then, so please be on the lookout, everyone, for the upcoming publications. And we also have our second paper on the cores and services of the iCCaRE consortium. And I know our evaluation core are working on several papers as well.
Great. Does anyone else have any questions that they want to add to the chat? And again, welcome everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy that all of you are able to join.
So if you can just take a moment to either scan the QR code. This is really important. So I know if there's anything else I need to give to Calissa or Emelina to send out to consortium members regarding reporting. And also there are questions there related to the this interaction on StreamYards, or uh, if you're logging in from YouTube or Twitter, it will give us good information of where we are really reaching our audience.
All right. Thank you, Vinessa. We're going to go ahead and get started with our next presentation. We have Dr. Oladoyinbo, who's from the Research, Education, and Training Corps, and she's going to discuss our new Global Certificate program. Just give us a second. And we're just waiting for everything to load. All right, Dr. Oladoyinbo, if you could just let us know when you're ready.
Okay, thank you, Collis. I'm ready.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, can I go ahead?
Yes, you can go ahead and start.
Can I go ahead?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know what happened to our network here today, but I hope and I pray that the network is stable. Thanks, Colisa, and I want to say that I'm happy to be here making this webinar presentation today. Like Colisa introduced me, I'm Catherine Oladoyinbo, and I'm the program director for the Global Oncology Certificate program. So in the next few minutes, we're going to be going through one of the cores, the Research, Education, and Training Core. The program under this core is the Global Oncology Certificate program and the Advocacy Training program that will be anchored at the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, basically at the African Behavioral Research Center, FUNAB. One minute, please. Okay. So I'll be making the presentation in the next few minutes. Colisa, are you sharing or I'm sharing from my hand?
I'm sharing. If you want me to progress through the slides, I can do that also.
Okay, can you share from your end or do you want me to go ahead and share?
I can share. Like right now, your screen is sharing the very first slide.
Okay. It's loading up.
It's looks like it's you that's sharing, so you need to advance her slides.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So this is the outline for the presentation today, and so first, this slide is showing the flyer for the Global Oncology Certificate program, and as you can see, the date for this training program has not been fixed yet. We are still getting ready all the things that we need to put in place to get this program started. But right now, as you can see from the slide, this is the flyer for the oncology training program. The research, education, and training includes the following: myself, Dr. Annie, Dr. Ashley, and Pastor McCall. Now, the objective of this Global Oncology Training Certificate program basically is to enroll at least 5 predoctoral students annually, and also to implement a comprehensive research advocacy training for prostate cancer survivors. So if you look at these two objectives, basically we can say that the overall goal of the certificate program is to prepare a cadre of early stage investigators that and community advocates that are well trained and can effectively address the issue of cancer prevention, cancer control, and cancer survivorship. So basically, this training program is targeted at early stage investigators and also community advocates, which will include prostate cancer survivors and some other community advocates that will be able to develop research ideas around addressing the issue of cancer prevention, cancer control, and cancer survivorship. Now, the question then is, why this training program? Why are we doing this global certificate training program? If you look at the iCCaRE goal, the goal of the iCCaRE is basically to achieve health equity, and achieving health equity is through reducing disparities that are associated with prostate cancer diagnosis, and also reducing disparities in treatments, disparities in survivorship, and also to improve patient-reported outcomes. That is the main goal of the iCCaRE, consortium. And so, for the research, training, and education core, for us to be able to achieve this goal, the training certificate, the global certificate training program, is basically tailored towards training and education, the next generation. And the next generation are the early career investigators, and also to train community advocates in the science of cancer prevention, cancer control, and survivorship. So if you look at this global certificate training program, the requirement for anyone to be enrolled in this program is that the individual must be a predoctoral student, an MSc, or a PhD student in training, are qualified to apply for this certificate program, for this training program. And at the end of the program, the participants will be issued a certificate of completion from ABA. So quickly, I would like to describe the certificate program. What does it entail? What exactly are the things that are required to complete this training program? Students are to complete 12 graduate credit hours, and these 12 credit hours is distributed around some courses. There's a required course, the Global Health Disparities, a 3 credits, and it's required for everyone that is participating in the certificate program. Then, aside that, the students are to choose one of 3 other options of topics under cancer health disparities. And these 3 topics will include current topics on cancer health disparities, behavioral theories and research, principles of community engagement research. Each of these courses is a 3 credit, and the participants are to pick one of it together with the global health disparity. That will make 6 units. And then they will do an elective. The elective also has 3 courses: the health communications and health literacy. The social determinants of health is also a 3 credit. Special population is also a 3 credit. And the participants are also going to be picking one of these, any of these 3 courses. So that will make 9 units. And then there is a research project that the participants are going to participate in, and that is also a 3 credit course. So in summary, we can say that the 12 credit hours is divided equally between the required and the electives. There is a compulsory required, and there are 3 required that one has to, participants will select one from. There are 3 electives that the participants will select from, and the research project, making 12 credit course for each participant. Who are our course instructors? We have carefully selected our instructors that will be taking some of these courses. And Dr. Rotimi and Dr. Fullwood will be taking our course on global health disparities. Dr. Cynthia Harris will be taking the course on current topics on health, cancer health disparities. We also have the behavioral theories and research, and Dr. Reams and Dr. Akiondaye will be leading this. They will be our course instructors for the behavioral theories and research. The principles of community engagement research will be led by Dr. Asedu and Dr. Oladoyinbo, myself, will be leading the principles of community engagement and research. Health communications and health literacy. Our Dr. Tolani Ogusoya will be leading that. Will be our instructor for the health communications and health literacy. Social determinants of health will be led by Dr. Ojo and Dr. Wilson. And special population, Dr. Bola Joko will be leading that particular course. At the end of the course, the students are going to be evaluated, and in this evaluation, there is no comprehensive exam. The students are not writing any comprehensive exam after taking the courses. However, course instructors are to assess the students after each course, after taking each of those courses. The students at the end will also be assigned to mentors for their research project work. And I want to say that in recruiting participants for this particular certificate program, students are going to be recruited from any part of the world. It's not limited to students from Nigeria or from West Africa or Africa alone, from all parts of the world. And for the first year of the training program, we will not be recruiting participants from the Francophone countries, because we are currently trying to translate our course materials into French. In second year, the third year, and the fourth year, priorities will be given to participants from the Francophone countries. This program will be conducted virtually. Students are going to participate virtually, and the courses are going to be recorded. The students are to join the classes virtually and listen to the recorded lectures from wherever they are. At the end of the program, there's going to be a program evaluation, and the program evaluation has been divided into two categories. We have the direct assessment, which will include the students assessing the course, assessing the faculty, the instructors. They will also do a personal self-assessment on the certificate program that they have engaged in. There will be a survey that will help them to describe how they're going to use the knowledge and the skills that they have gained from the training, how they're going to utilize it in their future endeavors. We're also going to have an indirect assessment, and that will include looking at the program enrollments, the growth of the program, um, how many of our students are funded after the program, how many grants are they able to write, how many of them um, have are able to write for grants and also get funded, employer satisfaction, and we're also going to be looking at our student getting placements after participating in this particular certificate program. And that takes us to the second training program, which is the cancer advocacy training program. And this is targeted basically at our community scientists, our community advocates, and the survivors basically are the ones that will participating in this particular advocacy program. This is the flyer for the we're still working on this flyer, but tentatively this is the flyer that we have been able to come up with for the prostate cancer advocacy training program. Now this picture here, as you can see, these are true life pictures of some of our survivors, of our prostate cancer advocates that currently are working with at the center. We have Mr. Dejoro, Mr. Dennis, Reverend Kwame, and Mr. Olise. All of them have indicated interest already, and right now we already have been able to get the consent of 7 of our prostate cancer survivors that are ready to participate in the training, the advocacy training program. And the objective of this training program basically is that we want to increase awareness in our different communities about the issue of prostate cancer across Africa. Reverend Kwame is from Ghana. The other 3 people are from Nigeria. We still have somebody from Sierra Leone joining us for the advocacy training program. The training program is going to be a 5-day intensive training program, and we will be hosting about 8 prostate cancer survivors from across West Africa, Ghana, from Ghana, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, and Sierra Leone. And they're going to be participating in the cancer advocacy training. At the end of the training, the community scientists are going to be assigned a mentor also, and the community scientists are expected to do a mini pilot project in their different communities, looking at cancer prevention, cancer control in their different communities. So which is going to be supported and funded from the iCCaRE grants. The handbook that we are using for the training program is the Handbook for Cancer Advocacy Principles and Best Practices. The second edition of this handbook is what we are using, and this handbook was published by the Prostate Cancer Transatlantic Consortium, CAPTC, and the iCCaRE for Black Men Consortium. The handbook has been used in the US to train community scientists, and we want to adopt this handbook also in training our community scientists here in Africa. So if you look at this slide, you will see the names of some of our instructors for these facilitators for these advocacy training. We have a lot of them, and but one very interesting thing that I want us to note in this training program. Sometimes last year, our coordinators and CAPTC were trained on cancer advocacy and clinical trials. And we have also engaged, we are going to be engaging some of them, in short, all of them that participated in that training, um, for this as facilitators for this advocacy training program. This training program is going to be a physical training. Participants are going to come from their different countries, from Sierra Leone, from Cote d'Ivoire, from Ghana, and across Nigeria, from wherever they are selected. We have participants from Enugu, we have participants from Ilorin, we have participants from Abeokuta and from Lagos. They're going to travel down physically to participate in this training program. And all our coordinators, like I've said, they have received training on cancer advocacy and clinical trials. So they're going to also be they're going to be coming up as facilitators in this advocacy training program. Some of our facilitators that have been selected to take this advocacy training program, Dr. Unkom, Dr. Ogo. We also have a breast cancer survivor amongst the facilitators that has been selected to facilitate this training program. We have a prostate cancer survivor also on the training program, and our coordinators and some other facilitators that have been selected from FUNAB and across Abeokuta. So basically, this is what the Global Certificate Training Program entails, and this is what we are going to be doing in the next few months. We hope that by the time that the flyer is out on the CAPTC website, on the iCCaRE website, that we will have participants enrolling for this training program across Africa and outside of Africa. We can also we can help by informing our pre-doctoral students in our institutions, in our various institutions, to be on the lookout for this training program, which will be coming up very soon. We hope to start the program as soon as possible. We are trying to get ready all the things that we need to put in place. Our instructors have been contacted and we have gotten consent from all our instructors. Our course materials is what we are trying to develop and get ready, and the platform for the dissemination is also, we are also trying to get that ready for the training program. I want to thank every one of us for listening. I don't know if there are questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Oladoyinbo. And I'm looking through the chat, make sure we have any. There is one question. Will the prostate cancer advocacy training be only in English or multilingual?
Okay, so for now, it's going to be in English. From next year, like I said, we will be having participants from the Francophone countries to join us in the, for the first year, it's going to be basically in English.
Okay. Are there any other questions? This is awesome that we'll be able to implement this in phase 2 of the iCCaRE grant. So I'm excited for it. So the next question, what about for advocates who don't speak English or French?
Okay, we have not taken that into consideration. For now, we will consider that. For now, we are looking at English. Then from next year, we'll look at French. If we see any applicants who does not speak English, we will look at other languages that are available and see what we can do, how we can accommodate them also into the program.
If someone had additional questions, would they contact you, Dr. Oladoyinbo?
Yes, yes.
There's another question. Will this allow asynchronous learning?
I didn't get that, Colisa.
Will this allow asynchronous learning?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
Different learning concepts?
Different learning
concepts, self-training.
Okay, self-training. Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. Any other questions? Okay, I want to thank you all so much. This is recorded, so we'll be able to share this information with everyone. Remember, for Vinessa's presentation, there's a link for the survey, and that's for the evaluation component. And also, if you have any further questions about the Global Certificate Program or the advocacy training, you can reach out to Dr. Oladoyinbo, and we'll have that information in a follow-up email. So thank you all for joining. Give you 17 minutes back to your day. Thank you all.